Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lions of the Desert podcast. I'm Shoeshine Mike. We've got a lot going on today with the Lions coming up tomorrow, Thanksgiving Day. Now we look at. Excuse me, I've had a bit of a heavy time lately. Anyway, when I look at what's going on right now, especially with the Giants last week, the three plays right off the bat. Jake Gibbs, Jake Bates kicks the field goal, and it's a Tarek Skubal curveball. All right, it's a slider. Went out a little bit from the post, then it went right in between the posts, and it was happy, crazy, and wonderful. Now that gets done. We go to overtime. We have tied it up, and we had a bit of a little run before we went overtime. Now that was kind of a tough series, kind of a tough series with what was going on there. But eventually, time went out. We go to overtime, and I'm gonna hold my breath here because it was just so crazy. The Lions get the ball, all right, and it was deferred, and then all of a sudden, the handoff to Jameer Gibbs, 65, 69 yards. They can't make up their mind on it. All the way down for a touchdown. That was awesome. They get a chance to get it back to Giants, and they're looking halfway good. Winston looked good in this game. Jameson Winston looked very good in this game. However, on fourth and whatever, Aiden Hutchinson did his first sack of the day, but he also had 6 quarterback hits and 11 quarterback hurries. He's leading so many people in all of those. Okay. So we'll hang on with this and talk about it. I'll be getting a call from David Nature pretty soon, and we'll have David on and we will discuss this. And then I'm looking at tomorrow with the Packers. Now, the Packers have not been all that together themselves. Okay. They only beat the Giants when they had to really work at it. They've made some crazy losses. These two teams that were, 7-3 Packers, 7-4 Lions. Okay, take away the tie, and it's 7-4, 7-4. You got the Bears one game up on us. So, and they go to Philly Friday for the I guess Prime Network Black Friday special, and we're going through all that. The only thing that looked bad, and it's been looking bad for the last couple of weeks, is the O line. All right. Now, David's going to call in a few minutes. All he's talked about is the O line. And I'm telling you right now, he has something really to add about that there. I'm going to try to keep it civil on the O line because I love them. I've got my Penei Sewell. I've got Ratledge. My golly. Isaac Ratledge and doing really well. Not Isaac, Tate Ratledge, pardon me. Graham Grossell in center. Now you got Okasa on left guard, and he's having problems. And Taylor Decker is too, because they're figuring out ways to get past Taylor Decker because he's had the ankle injuries and he's trying to work the best he can on that. He's still doing good, but he's not getting back up from his guard left to him. The guard left to him cannot block for either run, pass, or run. He just can't. All right. He needs some more work, and it's not as bad. He needs some more work. He hadn't been out there. You had Mahogany get hurt, and all of a sudden this kid was thrown right in. Albeit with not enough time to get something done there. Okay, so we'll let that pass. So say on that, the miracle that is Jameer Gibbs right now, and I'm going to say something right now. He is 3 touchdown passes away of passing Barry Sanders with the most touchdown passes by a running back in NFL history. Okay, Sanders has 47. Gibbs has, let's see, was it 46 or 47? Gibbs has 3. So maybe actually it's 3 if he gets 3 more touchdowns. So it was 46 for Barry Sanders. It could be 47 for Jameer Gibbs by the end of this year, and he will pass the record for most touchdowns by a running back in the first 3 seasons. The other 2 that are close, I think it's Emmitt Smith at 45 and somebody else at 46. They're very, very Hall of Fame guys. I have to look it all up. I've had some exciting news, so I'm a little excited right now. So I look at that, we go along. Now, let's say we get past the Packers. USA Today came out with what I thought was the best take on the whole thing. The Lions will win because they're at home, but they have them at 1. They have them 24-23. I have them at 31, 31-17. Okay, I think it's going to be that kind of a game. If the Lions score 30 points, then the Packers are going to win. That's just the way it is, and that's how it's going to end up. And I really like. I would really, honestly, and truly love to see that. You have no idea how much I would love that. So what we'll do is wait for his call. I want to go through the rest of the schedule because it's now coming up that we need to pull off some of these wins. You have the Packers tomorrow. A week from tomorrow on Thursday night on Prime, you have Dallas Cowboys. Then we go to the Rams, right? Then we get Pittsburgh at home. Then we go to Minnesota and we go to Chicago. All right, Minnesota and Chicago, I think are winnable. I really do. And if Chicago comes down to it, it could decide the AFC North. It could decide division title. We don't know how long and crazy that will be. I know they could win tomorrow. They're 2.5-point favorites. Over under is 40, I think 48 and a half. And that plays in all the favors that are going on. Josh Jacobs will be playing, but Josh Jacobs is not Jahmyr Gibbs. If Gibbs starts breaking, if they can block from him, give him some room to go, it's a whole different ballgame. Penei Sewell will get Frank Ragnow. He will be lined up with Ragnow, and I think pretty much the whole game. We'll see what happens there. They've got to do some switching around. Ratledge would be good on Parsons, but you got to get the weak side kind of picked up. You know, right? Switching around. Maybe they have plays where Ratliff comes in as a center and Glasgow goes back to left tackle with Frank Ragnow, just as a switch. They can do that. And they could switch them around. I really pray that Phipps got it, not Phipps, Hank Froley does a little play with these guys, does a little play with them, and lets them go through on all that. Then you've got Calvin Shepard, who's, I think, the best defensive coordinator in the league right now. His energy has been incredible. If the Lions played the Giants like they played the Eagles on defense, we'd have won that game by halftime. But things are getting stronger and stronger on certain teams. They all do that thing. They know the opponent, who they're playing. We know the Packers, and they know us. That's just the way it is. And I'm sitting here wondering about these games coming up. The Rams will be a tough game. It's in LA. We need to be spot on with everything. Okay, we need to spot on with everything. We need to win these 3 games we got now because we're at home. We can be 7-4. I mean, I think 9-4. Yeah, we're 7-4 now. We could be 10-4 at the end of the Cowboys game. 9-4 by the end of the Cowboys game. We already won the Giants. And all right, so that's 9-4. Losing the Rams, we're 9-5. We could actually end up 9, 10, 11, 12, and 5. Might be our schedule. It just might be good enough. We don't know that yet, but it might come down to Chicago on the last game in Soldier Field. I can't see any other ways turn out. The Lions have to win. And if we can beat the Packers tomorrow, that is huge. That is really huge. The Bears play Philly Monday. They lose to Philly. The Lions win first place in the division, and they can try to stay there. It all depends what happens with the Rams when we go with the Cowboys. I think we might stay there, but the Rams game is what the important one's going to be. So I'm going to take a quick break here, and I'll be back with you in just a moment. Hang tight. Okay. Let's put all this together here. Thank you. Yeah, I'm on podcast right now. A little bit good. Yeah. A little bit good. Maybe not very much good, but a little bit good. All right.
Just enough flaws. Now, the Lions need a plan for Michael Parsons. He can't be blocking one-on-one.
I've got a little bit of NBC Sports on here right now. They're about to make their pick for tomorrow. Let's listen in.
Slowing him down, or he will mess up your game plan. And now that the Vikings have created this blueprint of pressure up the middle to move Jared Goff off the spot, that's a problem. Just rely on Jahmyr Gibbs. Oh, and sprinkle a little Jameson Williams, too. They don't use him nearly as much as they should. It speaks to the overabundance of wealth they have on offense, but you got to use your best guys. The best guy. Look, simple football to me is the best players get the ball in their hands as soon as possible. I have faith that Dan Campbell and company will do that. I like the Lions in this one, but it will not be a best bet. I am nervous about it. I've got Lions 28, Packers 20.
All right. I hear you. Listen, I mean, you said it, and I do trust that Lions offense more. Right, I do. And like I said, I was back and forth. I was going to pick 24-23, one of them. And I first wrote down Detroit. Then I wrote question mark. And then I wrote Green Bay. And then I just wrote the game out with a question mark. And I kind of made my decision as I talked it out right there on which one I was going to pick to win 24-23. Yeah, I was definitely in limbo.
I make my decisions in advance. I take my hand off the checker. I don't want to regret it. I don't want to rethink it. I don't want to revisit it.
I was so on the fence, which is rare with me, right? Which is how we started last week off, when I was on the fence with the Houston Texans and the Bills, and you called me a chicken, and I went with Houston Texans and ended up getting it right. You want to call me a chicken again and make me feel better about that?
Yeah. If you want to go with the Lions, because then we're guaranteed to still be tied.
You're scared. You're scared of a little competition. Okay.
Fine.
All right.
I'm going all in.
Yeah, I'm going all in.
Okay, there they are. They're both picking the Lions. I like their back and forth because they're really, really right on top of it most of the time. It's a big game tomorrow, as everybody who's a Lions fan knows. And we will not be at the Detroit Coney Grill tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving. Everyone's with their families. So, be stuffing turkey down our throats or whatever while the game is going on. And I wouldn't have it any other way. We'll probably be texting our little brains out back and forth. Hang tight. That could be our boy. And there he is, David Nager. Welcome to the show.
Mike. Did you hear Mike?
I'm right here, baby. What day is it? Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to sit here right now. An item just came in. It's an emergency item. And this man has been talking about this one subject for like the last, 11 games. And let's get him talking about it too. What's the big news? David Nager, General Manager, Detroit Coney Grill.
Mike, it feels like Sunday morning I'm sitting in church.
Yes.
And the Lord just heard our prayers. Frank Ragnow is coming back per Adam Schefter, ESPN, baby. Ragnow is back. We've been begging for it. We've been talking about the offensive line struggles. We've been talking about the best way to fix it. How many times on our podcast do we say, Frank, if you can hear us, please, we're asking, we're begging. He is coming back.
And how could it come in? How could it come at a better time than Thanksgiving and getting manna from heaven? I mean, it just.
Oh man.
Listen. All right, let's do it. Let's break it down. Now, apparently, he's coming back for the Rams game.
Let me break this down for all the listeners.
You got it.
The Lions are officially the number one contenders in the NFC. It's that simple.
That's exactly what happens with Frank.
Let me explain that to you. Let me explain something to you guys. We are getting healthy at the right time of the year.
That's right.
Frank Ragnow is coming back. Okay, we are only 1 or 2 games out of the top seed, which I don't even care because we had that last year and it didn't do shit for us. I don't even need the top seed. But I will tell you this: the rest of the league is on notice because the run game is back, the play action is back, everything is back. When Frank Ragnow was sitting there as the general of that offensive line, with him there solidifying that center position, Glasgow can go to his natural position. Now the left side is going to be outside zone with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. The right side is going to be Penei Sewell, and we've seen what Ravage can do.
He's good.
I mean, this is it. This is a game changer. I don't care about Laporta being healthy. All the other things we can overcome. The one thing we were not able to overcome was the offensive line struggles, and that is gone as of I don't know what game. Mike, you call?
Yeah, I call. It's not going to be Dallas. It's going to be the Rams. That's what the word was from Detroit.
We don't need him to beat Dallas anyway.
No.
Dallas sucks.
Yeah, they suck
royal.
royal.
Got going for them is some cheerleaders.
Yeah, and they're all men.
Man.
Yeah.
Breaking news, baby.
Breaking news like no one's business. So let's go through this now. I think they can, with this kind of news, it fires a team up, and that gives them more juice for tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, there is no question about it. Can you imagine if he makes a cameo on the sideline with like a turkey in his hand?
I promise you, probably he's there with his family. I'll bet you $20 right now. He and his family and the new baby are sitting right next to Mrs. Goff and her new baby. I mean, that's just the way Christine Goff. I think the whole families are all going to be there, and he will be there with his wife and kid. What would you think of that?
That is going to be so freaking awesome. Hey, Mike, this is a vendor. Let me put you on hold for 1 second, my son.
You go right ahead.
1 second.
All right, you're hearing that right now from Dave Nager alone. The coming back of Frank Ragnow changes the entire picture. A lot of people who don't know football are trying to figure out how can the center change the entire picture. He was the rock for all of Dan Campbell's games. All right. Frank Ragnow was not one of the Matt Patricia draft picks who got sent away. Neither was Taylor Decker. Okay. There's a couple of guys that stayed. And what they're doing here now is taking the best, making it better. And that will so improve the line. Because if I'm looking at it right now, and you've got Penei Sewell, Nate Ratledge, Frank Ragnow, Graham Glasgow, Taylor Decker, the band is back together, is the only way I can put it. The band is now back together. They are going to rock and roll that offensive line. Jahmyr Gibbs is now going to catch his knee, right? He needed 3 or 4 touchdowns to pass Barry Sanders for the most touchdowns in the first 3 seasons. This is insane news, right?
We just made a deal for next week's game. So for the Lions-Cowboys games, we're going to make some deals.
All right.
The following week, we're going to do something special for the Lions-Cowboys game.
That sounds good to me. Now, are you going to be there for the Lions-Cardinals game?
I absolutely will. I also have a wedding rehearsal that same day out on the patio. Yeah, It just so happened one of my customers has been a customer since the original Tempe spot.
Right.
His daughter, who also supports us, is coming. So we're going to have to go get some extra chairs and some extra tables and head the house up. Most of these are Michigan people. So they're going to be semi-casual, semi-Detroit Lions gear.
Oh, sure. Sure, especially.
Never see anything like it.
Is the rehearsal going to be before the Cowboys? Is the rehearsal going to be before the Cowboys game?
It's going to be before the Cowboys game.
That's awesome. Okay, I will be there
the whole time. There's no question about it.
Oh, I will be there the whole time. We'll talk about everything the whole time. All right, and I cannot wait to see that. That is so cool for someone to get married there, and it's a blessing. I think it's a blessing. You're with your people. Anyway, back to Frank Ragnow. I'm sitting here right now going through the whole thing, trying to explain to the fans, some who aren't football fans, that they have no idea how the chemistry in that team just changed in the last 20 minutes.
I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Let's put it this way. It's like driving a car without any gas in it. That's what the Lions were doing.
Yep.
We were coming up with different alternative fuels and things like that.
Didn't have a map.
The car was sputtering, stopping, working fine for a little bit, then going back to not working. And now we got diesel in there, baby. Let's go.
Oh my God. And here's an interesting side fact. In his first 3 years as a running back, all Jahmyr Gibbs needs right now is 3 touchdowns, and he will pass Barry Sanders for the most touchdowns in Lions history in the first 3 years. And we got 5 more games left. He'll get it.
Hey, you're talking about one of the most remarkable stats ever.
Yes.
I mean, that's just how good Jahmyr Gibbs is. We take him for granted. And I am the first to admit that when we drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, I honestly questioned what the organization was doing. Not drafting Jahmyr Gibbs because I didn't know enough about his talents, but taking a running back at the 12th overall pick.
Right on.
When we had a glaring need at corner. But right now, I'm loving our cornerbacks. I'm not saying Christian Gonzalez isn't that guy because he's doing it for the Patriots. But I am so happy with Jahmyr Gibbs. We would have never found a Jahmyr Gibbs. And I'm going to tell you something. I think Jahmyr Gibbs loves the fact that he plays for the Detroit Lions and that offensive line and that play calling machine.
Well, he's loving it because he's putting in the work. Therefore, his coach is putting him to work. And he says, no, if you do the work, you're gone. You're going. You're good in places. Dan Campbell puts the players in a position to win, period. The only other thing I would like to see tomorrow is he hasn't been used very much. I don't know if they're mad at him or not, but I want to see Jameson Williams bust a few on myself. What do you think?
You know what? I think against the Packers, the opportunity is going to be there, and I'm going to tell you why. Because there's a certain individual that's on the left side of that defensive line that's not going to be there. And that just adds an extra second to Jared Goff's decision making.
It really does add a full second.
And if you give Jared Goff and that offensive line an extra second to think about where they're going with the ball, it's JMO time.
Yeah. You know, one thing about Jared Goff, and it's been said around by a lot of people know more than I do, which I, kind of doubt. Anyway, but you give Jared Goff that extra second, that means a lot.
Yes. It means a lot to a lot of quarterbacks. It really means a lot to Jared Goff.
It does, because he reads fast. He really looks he finds the opening. And that's why he's going to miss Sam Laporta, and that's why Tesla has to take over.
He trusts that his receivers will get under that ball, too.
That's right. And I think Amon St. Brown's going to be at his very best tomorrow. I do.
Yeah. So we talked about a couple things last week.
Uh-huh.
And I want to know your input on this.
What's that?
What are we doing at tight end moving forward the rest of the year?
I am still calling for LaTesla to get into shape and be a tight end. I really am. He's big enough. He just can play that position, but he's got to get a little faster, and fake a block. Every time he blocks, he's doing it for life. And if he can kind of like fake a block a little bit better, I think you'll see that tomorrow. I really do, because they're having him, and they'll have Brock. I don't think Brock Wright is going to play tomorrow. So we have that other guy and Fisberg or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah, the other guy.
Any tight ends coming out of retirement? Can we call like Kellen Winslow or someone else?
Well, I was kind of, I'm sitting there going, Antonio.
What's Gronkowski doing these days?
Well, I was looking at that, but Antonio Gates, is a Detroiter. Maybe he's got a little gas. That's right. He's a native, and he's got every record in the world from the Chargers. Maybe you just play a game or two there till someone comes back. I think we'll be fine. I really do. So long as people block the way they're supposed to block, we'll be fine on that line. I do. I think between Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery's going to have a field day once Frank gets back. He just will have a field day.
Yes, he will.
I mean, that's all I want.
Well, the defenses aren't going to know what to do, because sooner or later, especially now that we don't have a tight end,
right,
we're putting Jahmyr Gibbs out in the slot.
Thank you.
Linebacker.
And then put Amon St. Brown over to the right side.
Yep. And Montgomery in the backfield.
Oh, my God.
Both guys on the field at the same time, and let the defense figure that out.
And JMO straight up the middle. Just go as fast as you know how.
I still like Jameson on the outside. I can't have him in the middle.
Okay, that's all right. Go route down the left side.
Yeah.
Continue with go routes.
Controls the middle.
Yeah.
St. Brown has already got it.
Well, would that be fun, though, if Jameson for the whole game, just run down the left. Just go as fast as you know how. And if you're open, the ball's coming. That's all you got to do with him. That's it. That's all you got to do with him. Dan Campbell will make some plays when Frank gets back that are going to eat your shorts. He's just going to drive you crazy.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait for this. I will.
I can't wait either. I cannot wait, honestly.
Well, we'll be down there at Detroit Coney Grill, folks. That's 6953 North Hayden Road, just south of Indian Bend. Phone number 480-397-4300. You can call ahead of time to order something and pick it up, or you can just call up and say hi and, hey, what's the score? Either way. So I think for the Rams game, we'll be packed.
Yes, we are.
I think we will. I think we will be packed.
The next couple games are all against big foes. You have the Packers, you have the Cowboys, and then you got the Rams. And
then we'll have Pittsburgh at home.
I think it's the Steelers after that.
Yeah. Steelers at home, then we go to Minnesota and Chicago to end the season. Chicago game, and I'm sitting here, I don't think it'll happen, but it just might be for the division, might be on a Sunday night.
Oh, I can see them flexing it. If it's for the division, they'll definitely flex it.
Yeah, if it's for the division, they'll flex it, because it's Lions and the upstart Bears and Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell. Wow.
It's the Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell.
I mean, that whole miracle going right there. I am so glad.
Also, for all of our local football fans, my son Jacob Nager, number 5 on Chandler, is playing Hamilton. They're in the state final 4.
Oh,
The Chandler Hamilton game is going to be at Dobson High School neutral field.
all
The
right.
other game is going to be Basha versus Liberty. This is it.
Ah.
State championship is on the line. Let's go Wolves.
Okay, well, let's do this now, folks. As a matter of fact, I'm glad he's on here phone now. David Ager will be my guest on the Shoeshine Mike Radio Hour at 1100 KFNX, Phoenix, mind you, the Pulse of Arizona, this Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. Excuse me. Oh, it's really been a little nasty for me lately.
And we're
Anyway,
talking football.
we are talking football. We're going to open it with, I always thought this was a great topic now because the market's doing a lot better. Things are starting to turn around. What's that mean for small businesses? And I want to make that the topic with David. Mo Bell will call in the second segment. Of course, he'll talk about his Bears, and we'll cut him off. And then we'll do all sports in a 3 and a 4. How's that sound?
You know what? I gotta cut you off there, my friend. You gotta remember something.
Right.
This Saturday we couldn't do it when we scheduled it. If you remember, this Saturday is the game.
Are you kidding? You think I don't remember that? You know that I walk around putting the pen on my hat with the Michigan Wolverines right on there? What are you thinking on that for this weekend?
This Saturday, I am grounded. I'm going to be stuck at both locations.
Oh, my
I
God.
apologize for saying it. You know what? I'm the one that originally moved it to this Saturday without even considering it.
Yeah.
I just remember there's no way, shape, or form I can make it there this Saturday. I got to be at the bars for the game.
Okay, we will have an upcoming date then.
Yeah, I absolutely can't wait to get on that program, that show. It's one of the best shows out there. If you haven't listened, please go and listen. Talk nothing but sports. We might tell them what you do with call-ins, tell them what you do with people asking questions, let them know.
We do take the call-ins. Now, I specifically like call-ins from the Ohio State Buckeyes because I put them back in their place. You know, and if they said to go, well, I'm from Ohio. I said, well, how can you live in a state that smells like hot dog water? Good Lord. You know, and but you know right now, David, do you know this? You know what a golfer and a Buckeye have in common?
A golfer and a Buckeye.
Yeah.
Nope.
They both yell out, 4. We beat the Buckeyes 4 in a row.
Soon to be Buckeye.
And they're favored again this year. They're playing in Ann Arbor. They're favored again this year. They're missing 2 of their best receivers. But the Michigan defense has been playing so good lately.
Mike, you throw the records out.
You throw everything out. It's all running. And Ohio's not going to run. They're going to try to throw the ball. The running backs are going to have a field day. Michigan will win.
My brother, I appreciate you.
Hey.
And we will talk again soon.
I promise we will. And you hang tight. And we'll be texting during the game tomorrow. I'm quite sure of that.
Go Lions, baby.
Go Lions. We'll get them, man. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
All right. David Ager right there. And we had the report. Frank Ragnow is coming back. This is such a big breath of life, a deep breath of life into the Detroit Lions, you know. And I know we had questions for David and stuff, though Frank Ragnow overtakes all of that. The news about Frank Ragnow overtakes all of that. I'm going to do a spot show tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to try to do a little bit of a live podcast if I can. It depends what's going on. I got a big Thanksgiving dinner here at my house and have an orphans party. A lot of people will be showing up. So we'll see what happens on that. In the meantime, I will certainly have a show Friday or Saturday because I want to get home in time to do the Michigan game, coming from the studio and get home in time to do that up, set that up and get going because the game starts at 10 o'clock Saturday morning and it'll be apeshit crazy. And we all know that, right? So what we'll do then is go from there and we'll just do the best we can with what we got. Everybody's pretty much stays attuned with it because we're all crazy ass Lions fans and Michigan fans. So peace, love, and rock and roll. Thank you for tuning in today. It's one of the best half hours of a podcast I've ever had the pleasure of doing. Thank you, David Ager from Detroit Coney Grill. Once again, 6953 North Hayden Road, just south of Indian Bend. And the number is 480-597-4300. Give them a call. Find out any information you need. We're going to have a wedding party. I love that before the Dallas game 1 week from tomorrow. So in the meantime, you can always text me. You can always call me at shoeshinemike@gmail.com. If you want to email me anything you have going on, I appreciate all of it. Do me a favor. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Go Lions. And sorry about that, Packers. You know, the Lions are going to win. Bye-bye.